Rarely.
And you make a good point, Ryan. And you make a good point, Ryan.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
Waffle House.
And you make a good point, Ryan.
They got me thinking Waffle House.
Hey, y'all, this is Ryan Monceaux, and this is Cats, the Cougar Afterthought Show. That's Brad Towns. That's Jayme Hollingsworth. I'm in Morgantown. Where U of H is escape the wrong word? Figured it out? Got through it? I don't know what you say, but won 63-49. After the game, Kelvin said he probably shouldn't have played Emmanuel Sharp tonight. He was very effusive in his praise in what West Virginia did in the second half and how they turned U of H over. We're going to get into that a little bit more. Brad left. Guess he found something better to do. Jayme, what are your thoughts about what you saw tonight?
You know, if it was NCAA tournament time, you would say survive in advance, but this one's survive and just move on to the next one. So, couldn't have been a much better first half.
No.
I put on my halftime thoughts that the first 3 minutes of the second half would be important because, you're still on the road in a Big 12 game. So anything can happen. We're up by 20 in the first half. Who says they can't go on a big run in the second half? And they did. So,
They
fortunate
did
to
have a
get it.
little one.
Yeah, fortunate to get out with a W.
I think the strangest thing was all the momentum West Virginia had, and they had it. They had erased quite a bit of a lead. Hang on, I got to get Towns in here. There we go.
There you go.
What happened?
Kelvin just came out and took a swing at me. It was weird. You should probably go
That
back
would-
and watch it a little later.
That'd be the least weird thing.
Yeah. Kelvin or West Virginia went on this amazing run, and they got the lead down to 5.
Oh, is that what happened? I took a nice bubble bath at halftime and didn't get out until like 5 minutes left in the game. I was wondering what all the posts were on the interwebs. I was like, what happened? It looks like a normal deal to me.
Can we talk about your bubble bath? I don't even care about basketball anymore.
Yeah. When it rains,
Boy, does it pour.
Well, no, when it rains outside, there's like a huge puddle, and I go. And
Has it rained all day?
Off and on here.
It poured while I was going to Intercontinental at 5 this morning. So shout out to y'all. They got the lead down to 5, and then missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and then missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and then missed the front end of a 1-and-1. I think they were 3 of 7 or 3 of 8 in the second half on free throws. U of H was 6 of 6 in the game. That's, I mean, you come back from 20 down, and every U of H fan was scared. The bench was scared. The guys on the floor weren't competing, frankly. And you blow it on the front end of 1-and-1s. That's hard to fathom.
there's levels to this game, and you got to make stuff like that. That's the reason why they are what they are. They can be giant killers one day, and they can lose to anybody. I don't know. I think for me, the MVP of the game was Sincere Harris. I really appreciate him just losing his head, going from being a defensive nuisance to taking himself completely out of the game. All in one possession.
That's wild.
He played great defense. It's like, what are you doing, dude? But thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to check out for just a minute. I'm going to get some video together for us, and I'll be right back with y'all. Feel free to look at some comments and talk about, things that you saw.
I shall. Good luck.
Okay.
Don't fall down.
Thank you.
If you do fall down the stairs, please make sure you have your video camera on.
Yes, I will have that on 100%, asshole.
Think content first. Content is king. All right, let's go to some of the comments, and we'll get it going there. Butt clenched a little after halftime, but Sampson and company were able to right the ship on to Texas Tech. I agree. Let's just get out of here and go home. Good development game for Milos. Road games are really tough.
It is. I have to remind, like my father-in-law, he's a big Aggie, but he gets so pissed when they lose on the road. I don't care if it's high school basketball, college, NBA, when it's 10, 15,000 people against the 12 that you have on the bench, it's hard to win on the road. So it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, you'd love to, expand on that 20-point lead, turn it to a 40-point lead, but it is hard to win on the road. So for surviving.
I don't even care if there's nobody in the stands. It's difficult because it's not your building.
Right.
The backdrop, and it sounds weird like an excuse, but the backdrop does have an effect. Guys got to get used to shooting in the room. The travel itself, it takes everything out of your rhythm. And,
right.
There's a reason why home field advantage is what it is. I mean, even when there's no one there, like you watch a MAC game and there might be 15 people in the stands, or you play a game at U of H back in the old days, we could beat some teams that we normally wouldn't at home, even though there might be only 1,000 in the stands.
Well, you go from an extremely emotional game Saturday night, double overtime, on the road, come home, couple of days, and then you're right back on the road. Go one of the farthest distances that we'll have to travel just a couple of days later. I heard a lot that it didn't sound very loud. Ryan said it was loud, but the noise just traveled upwards. So it didn't really, you couldn't hear it as much on TV, but I guarantee you, it was pretty rowdy there in Morgantown. So great road win.
Yeah. Let's see here. That was a tough watch second half. I agree. My thought on that second half is I wasn't taking a bubble bath. I was actually had to watch that. I wish I was, but I haven't had one of those in 40 years, I guess.
I took you as a bath bomb guy myself.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I was, I don't know when the last time I could fit into a bathtub.
Where's Ryan when you need it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talk about you need a really, really, really big tub, like a trough.
Yeah.
But what was I talking about? The second half. The second half looked like we were heading into San Diego State territory. I hadn't seen this team kind of go through the motions like that since San Diego State. And that was a surprise to me. But we came out kind of flat, like we knew we had this game. Like it was going to be like, just another blowout like we did at Oklahoma State. It's no big deal. But at the same time, West Virginia changed a few things up, and they came out a lot more intense and played as intense as we did when we started. As good as we are, you're if you're not matching their intensity, you're not. I mean, that's just not what U of H. That's not what makes U of H good. U of H is what it is because they are more intense than everybody else. They play harder. They play faster. They play with more ill intent than most teams. And when that edge is gone, they can look very pedestrian.
Right. So like at halftime, on my halftime thoughts, I put, first 3 minutes, extremely important, start the second half. Don't let them get confident. Javon Small had 3 points in the first half, bangs a couple early in the second half, and then they started building that confidence. And, once a home team gets confident, then things can change pretty quick.
Yeah. My philosophy is always never let them believe.
Sure.
Once a team has a little bit of belief and some hope, tough to slow down.
Yep.
Pipes, thank God. Yeah, you're right there. You're right there with me. Let's see here. Sharp needs to take the Texas Tech game off. I'd be interested to hear from Ryan what he's seeing kind of behind the scenes and get his thoughts on that. We'll see. I don't know. Well, I don't know what to think about it. It's one I can't imagine that they're putting him out there while he's hurt. But if he's going to continuously twist it or tweak it or hobble himself, then he's not doing himself any good. I just throw Arsenault out there and just let him rip and run.
Right. You see it going around the conference a little bit. DeJuan Harris was out last night for Kansas against Central Florida.
Right.
The big freshman for Arizona State, he was out last night. So, I mean, these are, star players for their teams that are sitting right now. And, it may just be part of it. If he needs 5 days off, then, you got to look big picture ultimately.
Right. Let's see here. What up, Jayme? Max says hello.
What's up?
Colton, that's you playing the saxophone in the intro. Awesome. Glad to have you. See, now we have a name to the face.
Like it.
Might have to get you to do like a cool solo at some point. I don't know. We'll think of something. I did not order Star Pizza. I'm trying to keep that to once every now and then because I'm fat enough. That's just the way things are.
I had to look it up, Brad. Darian Williams for Texas Tech, one of their best players. He sat tonight against TCU. So,
oh, really?
We'll see if he's ready to go. Saw him go down on Sunday when they played. I didn't think it was going to be too serious. He came back to the bench, but he did not go back in the game. But he did sit out tonight. So I know he had an ankle last year as well that kept him out for a while. So we'll see if he plays Saturday.
Yeah, they're you're right. This is the time of year where these little things start catching up with guys. You usually see injuries start to kind of accumulate, and then everybody's got to make adjustments. Hopefully, we don't have anything too pressing.
Right.
little tweaks, we can deal with those. Let's see here. Got some I want Ryan to address, so I'm just going to mark them. I would not want to be on that plane ride home tonight, especially if I was Milos. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as bad as you might think. You got to look at everything within context. I mean, at the end of the day, Milos wasn't great, but we've seen worse. He's played a bunch of great games, especially here recently. Played really, really well, and still he scored 10 points.
Yep. I've been on those plane rides and those bus rides. I can specifically remember when I was at UAB, we played at Memphis, and our coach made us put the film on the bus for a 5-hour ride home, and we watched it over and over again until we got back to Birmingham. So I've been on those bus rides. I've been on those planes. I know he got chewed out a little bit here and there during the game, but ultimately we came out with the win. So I think Sampson will let him off the hook.
Well, it's not that I think you approach it a different way, because he's played so well. I don't think it was because of a lack of effort.
No.
Some guys you just have an off night, and he didn't play well. But it's something you bounce back from. You use it you take that 15-minute span where he played really poorly, and you highlight that and show him everything that you did wrong.
Yeah.
So how'd that go, Ryan? Welcome back, Mr. Monceaux.
Kelvin just asked me if I could take Milos home with me. So maybe you're wrong about what you were saying. There's a United flight with his name on it. I have some clips from Kelvin's press conference. They're processing. Can I show one?
You do anything you want.
Please.
Star Pizza. That's all. Let's do this one right here.
Well, it was how we returned the ball over. They were just taking it from us. It was just clean steals, the Wilson kid and Uzan, I think we're number one in the nation in fewest turnovers per game, like 8.6 or something like that. But how many we have in that? We have 14. But you know what? West Virginia deserves a lot of credit for that.
I agree. They deserve a lot of credit. There was a reporter standing right next to me that asked if U of H was known for defense and if that's what they wanted to do against an opponent. And LJ Cryer, he just wanted to know, is defense something that was important to U of H? And LJ jumped in front of that question so Kelvin wouldn't destroy this man. And then the guy let LJ talk and came back to him and he said, "Hey, coach, can you answer this one too?" And Kelvin, did his thing.
I think the last 8 years has probably been what we've been known for. I think this team's a little bit better offensively than some of the other teams. And we've had some really good offensive teams. The year we had the number 8 pick.
If you want to talk about growth, Kelvin not ruining that man's life is growth.
I think you would have done that if it was JD or any of our people. He would have caught him on fire. But third,
Yeah.
rando guy or West Virginia guy.
Yeah. And we've got one more piece of sound. This is about a minute. So, Brad, you can go back to your bubble bath. Here we go.
We kept the crowd out of it. And there was no reason for them to believe the first 20 minutes because we played so well. But, hey, in Darren's first year, they beat Gonzaga, they beat Kansas, they beat Arizona, beat Iowa State. There's a reason why, coming in here today, if you'd have told me we were going to win by one, I wouldn't have played the game. Win by 1 point and go home. You've got that 2-game road trip at Kansas and at West Virginia. It's ain't no beauty contest. Put no picture beside the score. It's the win. And I'm proud of our kids for coming back. I think they cut it to 5 and had a chance to cut it to 3, if my memory's right.
Your memory was right, Kelvin. I think they're going to coach up Milos for the next 24 hours, and then it's going to be about building confidence. Take him down and build him back. And that's kind of how they're going to go with him at this point. Was it Baldwin? No, Baldwin was not here. Joseph Duarte is not here. Your boy is the only guy from U of H that braved the frigid tundra of Pittsburgh and then rural West Virginia to get here to Morgantown. Not an easy trip if you're not on a private jet. If you're on a private jet, I assume that was pretty easy for the team. But it was not easy for us. The reporter was trying to go home with a black eye. And Kelvin is not as chippy with media on the road. I think that's probably accurate. He does not want to get a reputation for being, difficult. And that's probably wise. He had not an incident, but the first road game of the Big 12 at Iowa State was a 45-second, 60-second press conference. Curse, got in, got out, and he's learned from that, and they made sure to give us a little more since then. Have y'all appropriately talked about Star Pizza? I know you talked about it. Do we feel like we're comfortable with where we've been so far?
I think we
Star
need to give
Pizza.
some more love to
Well,
the Star Pizza.
Yeah, they paid us today. So Star Pizza.
Oh, hell
We
yeah.
love Star Pizza.
But
Yeah,
see,
they paid us today.
That's the trick. I mean, I talk about Star
That's not
Pizza regardless.
Yeah, that's true. You're pretty, yeah. I'm sitting right under the retired number of Jerry West.
The logo?
They don't have that actual picture. They have a picture from when he was at West Virginia. They have his number on the court in 4 different spots, but they've got him.
You forgot.
Just in case. They've got him and Rod Thorne and Hot Rod Hundley are the 3 guys that they have retired. And they also have a banner for their NIT appearances, which no. You have banners just for your Final Fours.
That must be a Kelvin thing.
U of H never did. This is not a program like Memphis where you hang NIT banners.
And hey, beat Houston once banner.
Yeah, beat him when Marcus Sasser was injured. Did Star Pizza pay you in a way that you know how to collect? Yes. Zelle, it went straight to the account.
Thank goodness for that. That's the only way. That's the only. I mean, literally, Ryan has. We've talked about invoices before, and he still hadn't collected them a year later when I asked about that as well. He's like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that." It's good to be the king.
When I started in real estate, I did a lot of apartment location. A lot of people do. But there's $25,000 out there somewhere that I just never collected on because you had to do an invoice, and I just was not very good at that. So there's money out there somewhere. John, how did West Virginia go? Did they play? This was a little harder of a game than a lot of people gave it credit for. I just thought it was possible. There was a chance you came out hungover. That did not happen.
No.
That first pass from Jawan out to the wing to LJ in the corner, perfect. Right. And then Milos got it to LJ immediately. JoJo had, I think, 2 rebounded his own miss for a putback. So an offensive board and a bucket. That's how you do it. Really good start, but really atrocious second half. It nearly got really bad. So they allow pass outs here, which I haven't seen Arena do in forever. And I think I had to go to my car right after Red Panda and to get something. And there were a lot of people going out and coming back. And
hell, you got to get out. You got to get back out of the still to refill that Mountain Dew.
Right, Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
They got the moonshine here, friend.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's where I'm going tonight, is finding it. My obligatory put a star pizza in the Bay Area post. That's a good idea. We'll inquire about that one. I like that. San Francisco, Oakland, we're coming for you right there in the Bay Area.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ryan, are you afraid to wear U of H gear? So you cannot sit in a press box or a media row in U of H gear. I just don't do it because I'm representing GoCoogs, not U of H. And I'll wear a U of H or a GoCoogs hoodie, but I think I lost mine, my new one. So I may have left it in Oklahoma City. So, oh well. And I nearly wore a blue. I normally wear blue to these shows. And I was like, oh, they're going to get mad if I wear blue. So I didn't wear blue, but I wore almost gold. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but it was a stripe out game here today. Did y'all notice? No, because they didn't fucking do it. It was advertised. It was everywhere, and they didn't fucking do it.
Don't you usually have to hand out T-shirts for that?
Yeah, and I don't think they did. I don't think they did.
I don't
think they did. Ryan, are you going to Colorado? Yes, I am going to Colorado. I'm staying in Boulder. I'm going in Friday, coming back Sunday.
You're making a full weekend of it.
Well, you can't. The game, I think, is early enough to where it'd be weird. You might be a little, because Boulder and the airport in Denver are not close. So,
no. I know why you're going.
Is that the Super Bowl weekend? The 8th?
When is the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, it's not this weekend, right? It's next weekend. So it's the weekend, Colorado.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, we are not doing a Talking About show that weekend because of the Super Bowl. This weekend, I think we have a pretty good guest or two lined up for Sunday night. The GoCoogs sweater was elite. Thank you, Diego. I appreciate that. Would y'all sit Sharp for a week? He's not 100%, and playing him may keep re-aggravating the injury. So if you sit him for 2 games, he comes back on February 8th at Colorado. Do you want him to miss 2 home games? My guess is you sit him out for Tech and then see where it's at. But the problem is with an ankle, with like Javier had the groin, those things can be tweaked and back to shit in a second. And Emmanuel he's not sure-footed. And he slipped and busted his ass today. And, yeah, that was not pretty.
So my last year coach, my last year coaching, I had a girl that she just continuously all year long had that foot injury. And going back now, I would give her a week off. She was our best player, but ultimately, if it could have, saved us having to put her in the ice bucket every single day to get it right, I probably would have given her a couple of games off and look long term. Like we talked about earlier, there's guys, star players around the Big 12 that have been sitting out. So just part of it, if it's something that, John thinks he can fix with a week off, then I think it's time to pull the string.
John. Oh, we're best friends now. John.
One of the best ways to get some rest for your sore foot is to beat the living piss out of fucking teams when you're up 20-0, and you can go sit down and do nothing for 10 minutes while you're sitting there freaking watching a 40-point lead. But no, we got to play close, and that's just the way it is.
You need to relax. Your cholesterol is going to spike up, and we don't need that.
No, my blood pressure is actually really good. It was in good shape today.
All right. Well, that was probably before halftime.
Yeah, no. I was disappointed. I was frustrated, but I didn't think we were going to lose this game. One, because I don't think anything of West Virginia. I knew they'd blow it regardless. They could have gone up 10 and we'd still come back and win that.
Okay. It's a really cool arena. It's about 55 years old, opened right around maybe a year after Hofheinz. They've put work into it. It's reasonable on the concourses. The one thing that was difficult was the men's restroom had 2 urinals. You go into Fertitta Center and there's like 20.
Did it even have like a pee wall or a trough or anything?
No. Mm-mm. There was a trash can. I guess you could have used that.
Well,
but,
who doesn't? Who doesn't use those?
Yeah. But otherwise, it's pretty nice arena. Everything is chair back here. They have 2, 3, 4 club sections. One floor level right behind one of the baskets. And the media area was pretty nice. And they gave us $20 to eat at the concession stand, which didn't get me very far. I'll talk about that later. Which part?
$20 for the concession stand.
Yeah, but it didn't get me very far. I basically got a bottle of water and a high five. So, actually, here's what they gave.
I figured they would at least have like public hoses to drink from.
They might. I may have missed it. So, on the scoreboard, which is actually a really cool scoreboard, big. You can't tell from this photo, but it's big. They were advertising the official pepperoni roll of West Virginia athletics, which is Barney's Bakery. All right. Do you know what a pepperoni roll is? I was thinking it was a pizza roll. It's basically like a hot dog bun with 2 pepperonis and a little slice of cheese stuffed in it. It was one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Did that come in a vending machine?
No, it came right from the concession stand. They heated up that bag. Yeah.
Damn, man. That reminds me of way old-timey. Like when I was at the rec center when I was, 12 years old, everybody playing basketball. And then you got a little sandwich in the vending machine, and that sad thing falls out, and you throw it in the microwave.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
And then it comes out with it's just all soaking wet from the heat in the microwave.
It seemed the crowd was booing LJ every time he got the ball. What was that about? So I don't think they did it the first 2 times he caught it. when he hit threes, but I think they did it every time after that. I don't. There was before the game, I was sitting and talking with Kelvin Sampson down on the floor, and the U of H guys were out shooting. West Virginia had not come out, and there were about 4 students in a student section, and one of them just decided, you know what, fuck it, I am going to ride LJ the entire time they're warming up. And he was like, LJ, you're so fucking old. You need to retire. You need to get going home. And I mean, just like non-stop, just riding him.
I mean, he has been in the league for like 20 years.
Yes, he has. Full pension, everything. And LJ hit both of those shots in the corner right next to the student section, those first 2. And I'd imagine that shut that kid up for a little while. So, yes, they were booing him.
A whack kolache. Back to the
That's
pepperoni
really
roll.
kind of what it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking
No, I
Hot
didn't even
Pocket.
think
Yeah. I
Hot
was thinking
Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
You
It's
take that
closer.
first bite. You take that first bite of a Hot Pocket, and it's either going to be still frozen or 10,000 degrees. There's no in between.
It was closer to a kolache, I think, just in the look and the feel. But I'm going to admit something to the 2 of you right now. I have never had a Hot Pocket.
What?
So no Pop-Tarts.
I've never had a.
So
I had a Pop-Tart. The game last year when Red Panda was there, I had a Hot Pocket or a Pop-Tart. Never had a Hot Pocket or ramen noodle.
You're talking about everything I lived on in college.
Right. Everything that I thought poor people did, I refused to do, even though
Shut
We're
up,
pretty
dude.
poor.
You've had
We're pretty
Totinos.
right.
You've had
And I lived
Totinos.
in a trailer home. But yeah, just thought that was now the pizza rolls I was fine with, but the Hot Pocket, I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it looks whatever it is. I'd still eat it. I'm not against it. The concept, pepperoni, good. Roll, good. Throw them together, good.
I think LJ has been around the Big 12 a long time. Lots of folks probably just tired of him. You get beat by somebody at multiple schools. That can't be helpful. What's the time frame for Ramon to come back? They originally told us January 20th. We are past that by 8 or 9 days. He was shooting in shoot around at Kansas and then had to do stairs. He shot and shoot around today. They did a chair drill with him, and then he had to do stairs. The stairs here were rough. He probably couldn't play because of how hard that was. But I think he's getting there. His endurance is not where they want it to be. And you can just tell that in warm-ups. So, I just don't think there's a reason to rush it. You're playing well without him. It didn't look pretty tonight, but you won. You won in a place that's hard to win. We talked about these 2 games, splitting them. You won both.
Yep.
I don't think there's a reason to push it. You need him there the second half of February and in March. You don't need him there in late January. So there you go. That's because you pee in your beer cup. I don't know, whatever. I don't drink beer either. West Virginia was gassed with about 7 minutes left in the second half. All that effort in the beginning of the half did them in. So the under 8 timeout came with 6:59 left. West Virginia was down 5. That gave Kelvin 3 minutes to scream would be an understatement. There was some slamming of things, but once he got through that moment, they started to teach, and they drew up some plays and completely dominated from that point forward in the game. Maybe they got tired. Maybe they shot their wad, but I think missing the front end of a 1-and-1 just deflates your team. And when you do it a second time and then a third time.
Well, and then the thing is, you get a team. They had us on the ropes. We were reeling. We were out of sync, out of control. And when you get a team like that and you're really starting to gain ground, you gain a lot of confidence in doing that. But then once that team starts to pull it together a little bit and they start to make shots and they start to handle the pressure that you're applying, that takes a little wind out of your sails because you're like, I can't get this motherfucker to blink. These guys will not give up, because a lot of teams you can make quit. And we've seen how we do that. But from a team that's trying to catch up standpoint, you give everything that you've got and they just won't go away. And then all the bad stuff starts happening. Then that's when all of a sudden one bad thing happens, you get a turnover, you don't get a rebound, Houston comes down and scores again, and then start it all over. You start going faster and faster and faster, trying to catch up, and you stop playing you stop doing what you were doing to keep up and to catch up. So, and what that was for West Virginia, it was playing better defense, and it was actually hitting shots. But the numbers say you're 7 for 10 at one point in the second half. That ain't gonna last forever.
10 of 15 and 3 of 6 from the line.
Yeah.
At the same moment. It just didn't make any sense. But I'm bored talking about basketball.
So more Hot Pockets?
Hot Pocket. Looks like a Hot Pocket. Pepperonis are huge up here. Big West Virginia thing. Maybe there is a place somewhere that they're good, but not at the arena.
Yeah, I mean, anything that you put in a bag is going to suck, but it could, like, you could put pizza in a.
Whoa! You can't say that. The thing is I'm pretty sure the bag was microwaved.
Well, if you put a pizza in a little plastic sack like that, it's going to taste terrible, but you'd still eat it.
I wouldn't. It looks like something they sell on a roach coach. I'd eat that if I were on the verge of death. What happens if the Cougs make the Pop-Tart Bowl, and then I'm 100% buying the Pop-Tarts Bowl polo if we go. So that is actually in one of my tabs on my phone right now. I thought that polo looked badass, and I'm probably buying it, even though U of H is not in that bowl game. What is up with BYU not letting their band into the arena at Marriott Center all season? Not letting their band in is un-American. So the band this is one side of the story. It's the side that I know. Their band came to the school and said, we're not doing the first 12 games of that season. We're just not coming. And then they wanted to come for the last 6 games. Well, you have to have a script and you have everything mapped out. You can't just willy-nilly come. And so I don't have a problem with saying, no, y'all didn't want to do this. Okay. I mean, I think the band makes a huge difference. I think piped in music sucks. But
BYU does good piped in music. I mean, if you like,
no, I thought
good stadium techno.
Yeah. So
turned down for what? I mean, come on.
Turned down for what? If U of H wins a natty, Ryan has to get a hot pocket. I'm talking about them Cougars. If U of H wins a natty, I'm shoving a hot pocket up Towns' ass.
I wonder if we could get Star Pizza to make a hot pocket for us.
No, shut up, Brad. Damn it.
We're here. I know what I'm talking about.
Anything you put in a bag is gonna suck. Concession food, why would you think it's good? It was recommended to me, like, hey, go get that. And then it's on the billboard, the official pepperoni roll. Okay. This is a good comment. Frito pie in a bag is good.
Yes. But I mean, that's kind of
Yes.
a must. That's the only way you can eat it, right? I mean, you just
Well-
cut the side of the bag and then pour the chili in there, throw some onions and some cheese on it. You're good to go.
But I mean, growing up, we had those boats you get at games with the Frito pie in it, and I was perfectly
What?
fine with the boat.
No, you
The-
just take the bag.
I know what
cut
you're
the side of
saying.
the bag. Y'all are just wasteful down there.
All right, Brad's been muted. We're just going to enjoy the peace and quiet for a minute. Jayme, I don't know if y'all talked about this when I was gone, but what did West Virginia do exactly defensively to get back in this?
It looked like they defended JoJo a lot differently in the second half. You know, he had 10 points in the first half. They limited his touches. But overall, I think they just played a lot harder. You know, I'm sure they got lit up at halftime.
You don't
And,
think
you
that
know,
went well?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But no, I mean, I think I put in the scouting report that they're a proud team with a good fan base, and you know, once things start turning, then they can turn fast, and they did. So I think just bringing the energy and then just changing up how they defended the post helped them out a
You
little
know,
bit.
what is funny is that you said in the scout that Eduardo Andre was a traveler, and you saw it and you think they should call it. Well, the refs read that and just called traveling on everybody else. I have never seen more traveling calls in a game in my life.
No, there were a few, and even I think Tim Welsh, the old Providence coach, was one of the commentators, and he even said, you know, that was not a travel. I think it was on J1.
J1 right in front of the U of H
It
bench.
wasn't even close. But yeah, they were travel happy. It's, you know, a lot these refs before the game, they have points of emphasis that they're supposed to watch for, and that was probably one of them that, you know, maybe the evaluator had seen on film and let them know, hey, watch out for travel. So they were on it tonight, but they were off a little bit.
The look on Jamie's face when Ryan said that, Jayme, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Poor Jayme. Yeah.
And he thought this is some kind of professional show.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's watched it. There was a point.
Have we passed over the fact that was our 18th consecutive Big 12 win, which makes us second all time longest in the Big 12?
So I went and looked at this, and I could not figure out who first is, because Baylor had an undefeated season.
Baylor had Baylor and Kansas, I believe, are tied at 23.
Okay, so then you're third. Because I know about Kansas and I know about Baylor, but that's why I couldn't figure out how U of H was second. But yeah, you're third, and that's fine. It's the second longest, but
That's all I
you're
said.
going after two more teams. Okay, but so you still got to win 5.
Yeah.
So that's 2 at home, and then Colorado, and then another at home, which I don't remember, Cincinnati, and then the 2 Arizona games. Okay, that's.
Well, I mean, it's just the thing is they showed the graphic on the screen tonight, and it was Kansas, U of H, then Kansas, because they had 2 other 17-game streaks. But just, you know, here we are in the second season making these bitches look like the CUSA.
I mean, even
Yeah.
13 straight games is, you know, I keep seeing these random Twitter pages putting that, you know, Michigan State and Duke haven't lost since November. Neither have we. I mean,
U of H has played a football game since the last time they lost. You know, you
don't
played
play
San Diego
football here.
State early. I will show you travel bills that disagree.
You just went and watched the dudes run around on a field.
Okay. Weird, but okay. I thought JVR looked pretty good again tonight. Been so happy with his growth and his new role. We talked about it I talked to him Thursday in my video that was corrupted. He wasn't happy about his demotion to the bench, but once he got over that a day later and decided, I'm all in for this, he sees the benefits of coming off the bench and seeing some different things. You get to see how they're reacting, and you get to see maybe some guys that have been in the game 4 or 5 minutes, and you get in fresh. And he put that spin move on a couple guys today, and that was pretty. He was 3 for 3, 5 rebounds, and a steal.
So
in 11 minutes.
If you asked me to do a self-scout on Houston at the beginning of the year, I would say if JVR's going to his left hand, let him shoot it, because it was a brick. 2 of those tonight were so pretty. He's figured out that left hand now, and it's just added a dimension to his game. He plays angry sometimes now, and that was missing, for the first couple of months of this year. But when Dickinson hammered him across the face the other day and he got the and-one, and then there was a time tonight where he got fouled. He's playing angry, and an angry JVR is a good thing for the Cougs.
Absolutely.
U of H was 10 of 24 on layups, but 15 of 28 on other shots. I don't know how that happened. It's like West Virginia being 70% from the floor and 50% from the line. It doesn't make sense. 10 of 24 on layups and 15 of 28 otherwise.
I think it's just the length. They have a lot of guys, especially Andre, that affect shots. He's one of the top shot blockers in the country. So he doesn't necessarily. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to block everything, but just like our guys, if you put JoJo and JVR and those guys down there, they might not block it, but you can count on them affecting shots in the paint.
Go ahead, Brad.
Do what?
Most insightful comment of the evening. Thanks, Jayme.
See, we
thing
had
about
to get
things
Jayme
like this.
We had to get Jayme on here tonight so somebody would talk basketball, because I was just destined to be off the rails all night.
Yeah. The great thing about having this on YouTube, people get ads. And so everybody's watching this show at some different point. Like everybody that's watching it is at a different second. And so who knows what this insightful comment was, but we'll just assume it's everything.
Yeah.
So there you go. They need to feed JVR. Okay, I didn't put the comment up. They need to feed JVR the rock more. This is a good point. If you think about it.
What was the point?
Well, I'm looking for it. Damn it. It's basically just the West Virginia version of the Cougar Tail. That's all.
I don't know, man. The Cougar Tail was delicious. There's no doubting that. There's nobody that can say that it wasn't. Now, you could look at that right there. I mean, that looks unappealing.
Man, if you're saying that.
I mean, I'd still eat it, but, I'm not a proud person.
It looks like a Hot Pocket that's been in the freezer for about 2 years.
I'm YouTube Premium, Ryan. No ads, real time.
Boom.
Big time.
I've never seen anybody brag about being YouTube Premium. All right.
You got a YouTube
Congrats,
check mark
Jack.
and everything.
Yeah. Who was the U of H player of the game.
Just because I like him, I'm going to go with JoJo.
Yep.
Mr. Artis Gilmore, Mr. Ben Wallace, because he was a monster in the first half. And I think, like you might have said earlier tonight, that I thought he was going to get a double-double just from his own shots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 2-2 at the line.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, that's pretty good.
He is finishing at the rim and throwing it down. He's been a little bit to where he's just one step away. Like if he would just take one more step towards the basket. And tonight, early in the game, he got that one step. The times that he didn't were the times that you're talking about, Brad, where he threw it up there, went and got it by himself, put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when he gets that extra step towards the basket, it's over. I mean, he's going to put it on your head.
JoJo with an offensive game is a really, really dangerous player who could be devastating.
Yep.
You get JoJo going offensively, and tonight we've talked all through the year of even going back to last year about JoJo. He's a guy that's got to be able to go slower to play fast. So let his body slow down a little bit so he can actually be in the flow. And he was doing that tonight because he could easily overrun some of those passes and catch himself underneath the basket as opposed to taking his time gathering himself. And then he's got the dunk right there. It's pretty easy.
Yep.
But as it keeps slowing down and he becomes more and more of a threat offensively, I mean, that kid is.
One thing that I really liked.
16 the last 3 games. Go ahead, Jayme.
One thing that I really liked that, I'm hoping we grow from tonight is transition offense. There were times where, again, the ball got stagnant in half-court offense. But that first half when we were running, looking, I think Terrence hit 2 threes in transition. I'm okay with an early shot, if it's a clean look. And a lot of times you're not going to get a cleaner look than transition offense. So I think, sit E-Man for a week, get him back. And I love that if you can get LJ and him, he and Terrence, sprinting the court and looking to push the ball up. Sometimes those were the best shots you can get. And it definitely worked tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin has been talking about this lately, about wanting Milos to shoot it earlier in the shot clock. He says he's passing up too many good shots. And I think some of that is in transition. And if you just start shooting that earlier in the shot clock, good shots, you're not taking bad shots.
Right.
It's just going to open up so much for this team.
Yep.
And I still, as far as Milos has come until tonight. I mean, it's a rough night. Don't give him the entire blame. Give the kid a break. But he's still, although he's getting better, he still seems like he's waiting for approval for pulling that shot early. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows he's got to facilitate. He knows he's got to do all these things. He's like, but hey, I'm open right here. And if you hesitate a second, you got to pass because the shot's gone.
Yeah. I think shoot it Milos is one of Kelvin's favorite things that he's saying this year, because he's saying it a lot. We're screaming it a lot. Jayme, is TA's on-ball defense the reason he doesn't get more minutes?
I don't know. I wondered against Kansas what was up, because I thought that, he could have given us some more minutes. His length is really good. He's got a great wingspan for his size. But yeah, I don't know the answer to it. I wonder sometimes, just because I think he can really help us, but I also don't know what's going on with his body. I know at Kansas he had to wrap his leg. We know he's coming back from a very, very serious injury. So, I can't say that, he should be out there if he's not feeling, like he can be at that time. So, John, I'm honestly not sure.
So TA said to us at practice the other day that I believe is what he said was his knee and Malik's knee and a Kansas player's knee all kind of collided.
Well,
And I didn't see that, and he said he's fine. And I mean, he played, so it was okay. But I thought that was pretty strange. Y'all just jinxed me, got an ad. Whoops. Here's another ad. Star Pizza. Get you some Star Pizza. Brad and I went Friday
Yes.
and ended up eating with Joseph Duarte, GoCoogs intern and Houston Chronicle beat writer, the beat writer in this city. In case you're thinking other people are beat writers, certainly not me. Beat writer, just too much work you have to do. But get you some Star Pizza. Good people, good food. Buffet coming up on Friday. Tomorrow is wine and pasta specials.
Say you don't sleep on the pasta either. Know that that's a great, not just a good option, but
What is your
option.
favorite?
Huh?
Favorite pasta?
I mean, I love the lasagna. The lasagna is fantastic, but I also love I love the chicken Alfredo with rosemary chicken. Their garlic cheese bread is fantastic. Also,
That's not
if
pasta.
you like, I know, but it goes with the pasta because their Alfredo sauce is freaking fantastic. But also, they have a roasted garlic, just a garlic clove that's roasted with, I guess, pepper and olive oil or whatever. Fantastic. So, I mean, what it comes down to is that whatever you see on the menu, it is flipping great. And my stature says I know what I'm talking about.
I asked you to talk about pastas, and you spent 80% of that talking about something else. Which one of those two pastas would you rank number one?
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No.
You're not cheating on rosemary or whatever.
That's the thing is that if I could get like a half and half, I would.
There you go. Mike Pittman, Star Pizza, a half and half pasta.
With a pizza on top of a pizza.
Yeah. 14 turnovers by the Cougs tonight. Surprising to have more than an opponent. I think it's happened a couple times. They were careless with the ball, and then West Virginia made a huge effort to go get those.
It's one thing for us to turn the ball over. It's going to happen every now and then. But we were having really terrible turnovers. Like pick your pocket, standing still turnovers. It's like
right under the basket turnover.
Well, I mean, just standing at the top of the key and turning it over, or throwing a pass where there's nobody even remotely close. Turnover.
I thought LJ had more than two tonight. I just really felt like he gave several away, but he's only credited with two. Malik had three. It's a road game. It's a hard road game. It's a second straight road game. It's a long trip.
Yeah.
And they're a little hungover, and most of that was in the second half. And they clearly thought that this was in the bag, that West Virginia, it looked like they had just tapped out in the first half. It looks like they were gone. And so I don't think they expected them to come back with such ferocity, but they did. And good for them. I'm impressed with a lot of things that have happened with this West Virginia team. There's been some bad, at Kansas State was bad in the first half. Tonight was bad in the first half. But they're going to figure it out, and they're going to be a hard out. Small held to 8 points in 37 minutes. you've shut him down pretty much for 3 halves in a row. He got out on you in that first half at Fertitta, and then they just said, nah. Now, they did a much better job on Jawan tonight than they had in the first game. Holy shit, roasted garlic.
Yeah, Big Jack. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with that. Towns approved.
I think I got the penne Alfredo last time. Could have used a little more sauce. Just ask for more sauce. That's not hard. All they can do is say no, and they probably won't.
They won't.
Yeah. Been getting their roasted garlic every time I go since I was 6 years old.
Yep.
And if you look at the guy in the photo, he's not close to 6. Cougar in there. So I went looking for Dana Holgerson's house that he built up here, the fancy big ass house. Couldn't find it. Haven't made it to the casino he got kicked out of 12 or 13 years ago. But I'm gonna. It's an early night. It's only 10:30.
So have you found your dining spot for the night?
No. This was not it. Neither was this. The Nutty Bavarian.
Okay.
Okay. That was an option here in the
Dude,
stadium.
Question. What's going on with the Cats logo? Is it changing outlines?
What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ, I thought I was having a stroke, dude.
I don't know.
Woo, I really thought my eyes were freaking out on me.
You got the Houston Blue game coming up Saturday with Texas Tech. And so we're just fucking around with some different colors. I think this one looks better. It pops better, but I want to include some red.
Couldn't wait.
This one pops better.
So I blew myself. Tobias Funke.
Yeah, I know. Just sounds so weird coming from you. So for lunch, I had Bob Evans. I had never been to a Bob Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little excited about it.
And?
Not very good. Just wasn't very good.
Sausage?
No. I had their bacon. They had an appetizer that was just bacon. And I was like, that's what I want. And, had the pancakes and the everything else. More bacon. And it was fine, but nothing. Bob Knight used to go all across the Big Ten. He would go, every city had one, and he would go and he'd eat there like 4 times on his trip.
Bob Evans?
And yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Just wasn't for me. I think it's solid.
I liked Big Boy. When we went to Michigan, we ate a Big Boy, and I liked some Big Boy. But I'm a Shoney's guy. All over the place.
Shoney's, fantastic.
Yeah.
JoJo's, fantastic.
I never had JoJo's.
Yeah, it was always a favorite because they had beer.
Let's start over. Where did you not like? Exactly.
Not like?
Okay. Yeah.
God, there was a little pasta shop in.
Okay, we're not doing this.
It was a pasta. There was a little pasta chain that was in West Lafayette when I spent the summer there.
Brad, look at the logo.
It was terrible. There's some kind of chain fast food pasta.
West Virginia has been great for us. 2 W's for us and 1 L for ISU. Couldn't ask for a better conference mate. Shout out to West Virginia. They've lost to you 3 times in basketball in 2 years and in football on a Hail Mary. They have been a great conference mate. They're like Utah, frankly.
Yeah.
Utah's been a really, really solid conference mate. Ryan got what's her name to show him how to do the graphic. No, I know how to do the graphics. I don't know how to do anything else, but I know how to do that one.
What is up with Cincinnati basketball?
They're terrible.
I think when Brad and I did our little preseason top 6 or whatever we did, I had them as like the 4th best team in the conference.
How'd
And
that
then
work out?
Yeah, not great. Not great.
I mean, they were going to be the next big thing. I mean, it wasn't just us. It was pretty much across the board. Everybody
John
thought they were
Rothstein
going to be
freaking
good.
loved them in the preseason.
I mean, they had some good pieces. They had good returning players, and you thought that they added some good pieces that were going to help, and it's just all falling apart.
Yeah,
I would assume that probably Jizzle hits the portal this year. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that team just disappears.
Yeah, including their coach.
Cincinnati's usually kind of slow to fire people, but they've been a little bit more aggressive in recent times. Wes Miller is 9-18 in Big 12 play.
Well, I'll say this for their situation. They weren't in the best shape coming out of the AAC. So
right.
they're having to do a rebuild. I don't want to say that we were fortunate, but we were just at a level coming into the Big 12 where we were already established. They were just getting started after just kind of floundering for years.
Yep.
I say years, for a couple of years.
Yeah, they have struggled, but that's too bad. I don't really have anything against Cincinnati, but
I mean, and I'm saying this as a guy who doesn't like the rat Wes Miller. I thought they did a good job last year. This year,
they did. What do you mean they did a good job?
I thought he did.
They finished
with the team
tied for 11th.
I know that, but they lost like 6 games by 2 points or less.
It's true.
Well, I mean, 2 points or less would be 1. Yeah,
either 2 points or 1.
Okay.
But they did play a lot of dogs to start the season this year.
Yes, accurate.
I mean, I think they had one of the worst out-of-conference schedules in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Ow.
Red Panda was not her best tonight.
Oh,
I didn't realize she'd been doing this as long as she has, but I assume it's the same person that's doing it. I don't think it's like several people that do it. It's one lady.
Yeah.
But she's in her mid-50s. She's as old as you, Brad. She's older.
Who?
Red Panda.
What's that?
Oh no.
You don't know what Red Panda is?
Is this like some kind of OnlyFans thing?
Yes, it's OnlyFans.
What is Red Panda?
I just
I'm disappointed.
oh my Lord.
I'm not
going
to say I'm mad. I'm not mad at Brad right now, but I'm disappointed.
You should be. He's an idiot. Red Panda is one of the 10 best things in America in basketball.
Fair. Maybe not even basketball.
She performs on like a 10-foot unicycle, and she balances and juggles bowls.
Oh,
on her feet,
I've seen that. I've seen that
hand.
shit. I saw that shit when I was in China back in the 90s. No big deal. I've seen it from the source.
Okay, easy.
Hey, I saw somebody get pissed on by a lion in China at a circus.
I have no words.
That's right. Hey, guys, in Shanghai back in 1991, 92, that shit was wild. That place was nuts, man. Anything was going. It was crazy time for there.
You know, we used to have U of H athletes, coaches, administrators come on our shows, but I think that's pretty much flown the coop now. Never going to happen ever again.
They're not going to get peed on by the Lion. Unless they want to.
Okay, Brad, you really do have to take it down a notch. Good Lord. So I have a question. I was talking to Dorothy about this the other day. Was the name of the Chinese restaurant on the U of H campus China Star? Am I making that up? Because there was a black-eyed Pea, which I remember very well. And
That's
I
the
think
one
there was the China Star right next to
that was
it.
a name, but I don't remember the name, but I would go in there.
People are going to tell us is the good thing. We're not going to need to remember it, but yeah. LOL booted. Nope, wasn't booted. Wasn't booted. Okay, I just want to. I've worked so hard to build something. And
Just
a
keeping everybody
girl-
on their toes.
China Star, China Star, China Star,
Yep.
over by Kinko's, China Star, best use of Cougar Cash. Okay, so I was right about China Star.
I don't know. Cougar Cash, we used to be able to redeem it. What was the place? What was the little bar that was down in the UC, down at the bottom in the basement?
I don't know that it had a name.
I
saw Tom-
Cougs Cafe. That's what it was. Cougs
saw
Cafe.
Tom Penders there with a recruit eating Wendy's. And I knew that U of H was not at the top level when a recruit is eating Wendy's in the UC on his visit. And then I think they had to take their brown trays back. So, anyways,
Yeah,
this
Cougs
is
Cafe
going
was
so
that
fucking
was
off the rails.
that was where everybody went to just burn their board cards at the end of each semester, and it got a little odd. I mean, you could tell by what I talk about. It got a little crazy.
Yeah. Cougs was the bar with the barbecue. Cougar Den, then Cougar's Cafe. I had a pitcher of beer at lunch on my 21st. Okay.
Only one?
No.
Come on, Pipes. You're better than that.
I'll just
Those are rookie
got
numbers.
on, so I had so many people on the staff, on the team, tell me how much they enjoyed the Malik conversation.
Well, that's not this show. This is a post
Yeah,
game.
well, but
Thank
we're
cats.
done. We're done. This never happening again. Kelvin Sampson told me one of the best stories I've ever heard in my entire life, and I can't tell it because it's not my story to tell. But we might have her on here to tell us about Arby's one day.
I can tell you about Arby's.
Accurate. So, anyways, let's wrap this.
Story, I'm saying.
Yes. Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts so I can get out of here within the next 2 hours. Watch the NC State Final Four game against U of H there. That did not go well. Yeah. Tom Penders does not get enough love because the progress was undone by Dickey. I loved Tom Penders, but it was time to go.
And I don't blame James Dickey either. The only thing James Dickey did was say yes to the offer. It's whoever made that offer and decided that you're going to take a coach who takes you to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 15
30
years?
years. Oh, you're right.
Since
Yeah,
the
15
since the
years.
80s?
Since Pat Foster. No, Pat
Yeah.
Foster did in the early 90s.
And then you're going to relieve him of his duties, and make a change, and then you go with that. That was
Right.
that was a disaster from the get-go.
Yes.
So
And I don't blame James Dickey for saying yes.
I don't blame him one bit. And
I blame him for a lot of other things. A horrific schedule every single year. We're winning 22, 24 games. It didn't, I mean, you weren't even in conversation.
But you got you got a nice seed in the CBI.
Yeah, you had an adequate CBI seed. But
yeah,
Tom Penders did a lot of good things here. And he had absolutely no support. What could a coach like he or Pat Foster or even Guy V. Lewis have done with support like they get now? And obviously not apples to apples, but a program that cares and that puts money into an arena, and you never had it, and now you do, and it's imperative that they continue to fund it so that you can continue to just go 24-3 in the Big 12 in the last year. If you get through Texas Tech, it will have been a calendar year since you've lost a regular season game. Kansas was February 3rd last year. And, things are pretty damn good. Penders won some big games against Louisville and Arizona, also LSU on the road.
Also, with Kentucky.
Kentucky at Hofheinz, if I remember.
Yep, beat Gillespie.
I quit a job with a consulting firm and just decided that first year out, I'm going to every road game. And I have no idea how people like Murray Stinson do that year after year after year after year. He did it at a much higher income level than I was at that time, certainly. But man, that is a grind going to every road game. And I do it now. And it seems easier now than it did then. But, we went to LSU and then came back and then went to South Alabama and was dropped off in New Orleans so I could fly to Houston, so I could fly to Vegas, so I could fly back to go to North Texas and then the Fort Worth Bowl. The people that do that are incredible. And they're probably doing it, again, a way different level than I was. But I thought Tom Penders did a great job for several years with absolutely no support. And was a good guy. Like, I genuinely liked him. And he was a Yankee elitist, and I still liked him. So
I was on the opposing bench when he was coaching Houston. When I was at UAB, they were in the conference, and we always had a lot of good interactions with him before shoot around and after the games and stuff. So,
like what do you mean?
Well, he had the infamous game at UAB where
the fall down.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I remember I was driving to a baseball game at U of H to go up to Chuggalug Park when that happened.
Yeah. I remember, I saw it just to my right. He goes down and we're like, oh yeah, he's faking. And then he gets teed up. We make the free throws, we win the game. But we were able to talk to him a little bit after that game and make sure he was all right and all that good stuff. But yeah, he was always really nice to us.
He and his wife, I think her name is Susie, were so great. And they would come to the Age Association room after games and just very easy to interact with. Some coaches aren't.
Yeah.
Some coaches just aren't. Either they're not friendly or they just don't do small talk well, or they're just not going to deal with your shit. But he dealt with a lot. So there you go. His son coached at Clear Lake, accurate. But he coached a lot of places, if I recall. Need to schedule a game in Houston against UCLA in 2028 to commemorate the game of the century and wear throwback 60-year anniversary. I think they should do it in the Astrodome.
Nutters
Just
required.
Yeah, just go to the Astrodome and see what's happening.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm trying to look at comments and yeah. All right, Brad, go ahead with your final thoughts. See, we never even got to that. I think U of H has probably already landed back in Houston. I'm still sitting here with y'all.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It was a really bad second half that kind of made us forget a little bit about a great first half. I mean, it was a really, really good first half. But at the end of the day, we came back and won, and
Convincingly.
But this was a lesson that you didn't have to lose to go through. This is you cannot take your foot off the gas at all at any time, because when things get moving against you, it's hard to get it back. We're able to do it this time. So take this lesson and keep running with it. We got another big one coming up. Don't get lost in the hype of the blue, and please do some kind of seance to get the failure of that baby blue crap. Just don't mention the other football team who wore that, because collapse is imminent with that on, almost like we saw tonight. You gotta go out and just hammer Texas Tech, take them out of the game immediately.
You 1-1 in football in those blues. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You won a game. It was a terrible game against a man in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jayme.
They were the best. Jeez, I fucked that up already.
All right.
They were
Jayme.
They were the best of times, and they were the worst of times tonight. But you figured out a way to win on the road. One thing that I think goes kind of untalked about with our team is the fact that our big guys can get out and guard anybody. There were several times where you would look at JoJo or J1 would be out on Javon Small, and he couldn't get by him. So, it's just the little things that we really do so well, and the intensity that we bring on defense. But big game Saturday. They're rolling, we're rolling. Look out for the scouting report. I'm looking forward to watching their game from TCU tonight and seeing how they pulled it out. It was a close game there for a while as well. So so we'll see. But if you come out of this thing 3-0, then that's pretty wild.
That would be pretty crazy. I think we're going to get a little bit different scouting report, maybe. We'll see. U of H is guaranteed to go at least 500 on the road in the conference this year. Already 5-0 on the road. You've got 5 more road games. That's crazy. Texas Tech is 4-0 on the road, though. So something's going to happen Saturday.
Yep.
Shout out to Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Colorado, who are over on the road, but you're not playing. I think you get Oklahoma State at home, but
Jeez, Oklahoma State got blasted tonight.
Yeah.
What was the score in that?
85-57.
That's not what you'd hope for. Kansas State is starting to come on a little bit. They're starting to play a little better. Not to the level of that payroll, but still play better.
Little better's relative. I mean, that's like saying I lost a couple of pounds. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was your 13th win in a row. I mean, you go back to Thanksgiving weekend. That's pretty good. This team, you're going to have at least 3 games like this throughout the season. San Diego State definitely counts as one.
Yes.
Tonight counts as another, where you don't have it for 40 minutes. San Diego State, it never really felt like I was in the stadium at BYU for football, and so I wasn't closely paying attention throughout, but it never looked like U of H was quite there.
Right.
Tonight, U of H came out of the locker room after the half with about almost 6 minutes to go before the second half started. It was the earliest I've ever seen these guys come out. And maybe that was just Kelvin being like, what the fuck am I going to say? You had a great half. All right, good job. And maybe they wore themselves out, or maybe they just decided that West Virginia team did not look like they were ready to compete in the first half, which they weren't. And they came out in a different mood in the second half, and U of H came out in a different mood as well. So you're going to have games like this. And fans just don't normally think about it in this way, but they're college kids. College kids are not consistent in anything. To expect these guys to take this huge road trip, it's difficult. I think Arizona is going to be difficult, especially that second game with Arizona State. You'll be ready to play Arizona, but fly home and then fly right back to Arizona State? I don't know. I think Colorado is a very bad team, but that's a road trip that I don't know. But Arizona State, I think, is a worry spot. And then Texas Tech on a Monday night after a home game, that would be a worry spot for me as well.
I mean, we can be really excited that that we beat Kansas on the road. But remember, we struggled with Kansas. We struggled with Central Florida. They had a bad half tonight. This team has to realize that as great as they are still very, very, very beatable, and the margins are tiny.
Especially when you've got, guys struggling with health. And, teams are starting to defend you differently. They're starting to challenge you the full length of the court. They're giving you 18 seconds to set up an offense. I thought they did a really good job in the second half of making Milos work for it. And, I mean, it just was not good for large segments. Even there was a 10-minute period in that first half where they didn't look all that great. You should have had a lot bigger lead than 20 points, frankly, at the half. I thought you outplayed that team so much, but there was 8 or 10 minutes.
Stuck on a 10-point lead
like
for about
22 points or something. For you went 4 minutes without a field goal.
Right.
And that is something that happens to this team. The offense just disappears. And it's been mostly late in games when you have big leads and you put the backups in. But there have been times that the stars have just struggled. And tonight you saw it. And I think they'll iron that out. And I think you'll beat Tech pretty well. I think this team is not going to screw around with that one. But you got to put some things together. And this team has naturally gotten better month to month to month and have always peaked in March. This team is really good right now. You hope this is not the peak. You hope that they can continue building. When Ramon gets back, when Emmanuel Sharp is healthy, I think this team is really good and can be really good. But they are beatable, as Brad just said. And West Virginia had a chance. And had they not screwed up 3 1-and-1s, I don't know what story we're talking about right now. So we'll see. Star Pizza for all of your needs. If you need to eat healthy, Star Pizza. If you need to eat terrible, Star Pizza. If you want dessert, Star Pizza. A buffet, a pasta, a bottle of wine. 3 locations in Katy, at 59 and Shepherd on Norfolk, and then in Washington at Harvard. What do they call that? Buffalo Heights now? I don't know.
Do what?
Exactly. Thank you.
I don't know.
Yeah. Noticed.
I just call it Star Pizzaville.
Star Pizza. I wonder how Tech is in terms of rebounding, paint defending. I need to look into that. I know somebody who's going to look into that. And we're going to get into it this week, Friday, I guess. Or no, Saturday. You do it Saturday. Friday, you'll get the No Conference for Old Men podcast. And U of H edged ahead of Auburn in Ken Pom. This is one of those things that I don't buy. Auburn has like 11 quad one wins. They should be number one. I don't think it's close. That's fine. There's a lot of people in this country that are saying Duke is inevitable to be the overall number one seed. And I'm thinking,
I think that's
11.
true.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because they're Duke. They've been on TV more than Leave It to Beaver reruns.
I've heard that. But
Pete Gillen.
A real look at this. Duke is 5-2 quad one. Auburn is 11-1.
They play in a shit conference. I mean, it's glorified CUSA. But come on, it's Duke. They're going to get the number one overall.
I don't see it. I just don't.
I mean,
I
think it's Alabama way out in front on their own. I mean, not Alabama. Auburn way out in front on their own. That's how good I think Auburn is. And then it's probably another 4 or 5 teams: Duke, Houston, maybe Tennessee and Bama, maybe Florida.
Yeah, I think they're gonna beat up on each other. If you're talking quad one wins, Auburn has 11, Oregon has 8, Kentucky has 7, A&M has 6. See, this is where you're getting that SEC bullshit, and this is what Big 12 did last year.
Understand, quad one wins are not all built the same.
Yes, but if you're looking at a ledger and
absolutely,
that's the column,
right? I'm just looking at quality.
Yeah, but 11 quad one wins is massive. I mean, U of H got 2 in one day.
And if we would have lost tonight, we would have got another quad one win.
I don't know how that works, but okay.
You put West Virginia back into quad one.
Well, you said if they lost tonight, you would have gotten a quad one win.
We beat West Virginia once already. So if we would have lost tonight, we would have had that home win go into quad one.
Okay. Somehow you made that make sense almost. So good job, I guess. I guess that's it from West Virginia, Morgantown. My first trip ever here. First time in the state. Okay. This is a beautiful drive from Pittsburgh. There's snow everywhere. Oh, whatever. Yeah. I'll go find a Hooters or something. It's 11. Maybe not. Star Pizza.
Haven't seen Alan in a while.
No, haven't seen him all year, I don't think. Credit Sampson for scheduling the best teams on the schedule early. You learn so much from these games and won't see much harder teams from then on. Yeah. This year's schedule is goofy. You're going to go back to 18 conference games next year, and you'll have 2 more opportunities. And so the schedule won't be so weird in December, but I really think that helped this program a lot in bringing Milos along. Obviously, those early games don't hurt you, but they were maybe a wake-up call. Duke East Coast bias goes to Billy Packer continues to haunt college basketball. Yeah. So there we go. All right. GoCoogs.com, OneSubstantial.com. Galen played tonight in Toronto. So that's why he's not here. I think we miss him Saturday again, and then we've got him pretty much straight on through to the end of the season. So he'll be back. GoCoogs.com, CougFans.com. Brad Towns, fat as ever, and Jayme. Thank you so much.
No, I
Jayme.
said I lost 2 pounds.
Okay. Enjoy.